Now, we all know if you want to hit driver as far as you can and maximize your drives, you need to get hitting up on the ball with driver. Or is that not necessarily true? Hi guys, I'm Ali Taylor down here at Heron's Reach, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how you can help understand your golf swing a bit better, and then by either hitting up or down with driver, how that little change for you will get you hitting the ball longer and straighter than ever before. So like I said, I'm going to talk about in this video whether you should be hitting up on the golf ball or down on the golf ball with driver to maximize your accuracy and distance with the way you currently swing the golf club. So as a general rule for me personally, I'd be looking for something like this. So we can see setting off just slightly right, trying to turn back, but not a huge amount. And if we look at my delivery of the golf club there, I've got the low point of my golf swing 5.4 inches behind, so my club's traveling up 4.4 degrees. My club path, which a lot of golfers are now aware, it's path that very much relative to face that is creating the shape. So we see my path there was -1, which 1 degree, which is 1 degree out to in. I carried the ball 276 yards, total 301. And my swing direction was 3.6 degrees to the right. Right, so I just need to bottle that one. Anyone that's been watching my videos lately, there's not been too many like that, so I need to work on my delivery a little bit with driver to improve my accuracy. Now, if you're watching this video, there's probably a fair chance that you're somebody who slices driver. A lot of golfers out there do, so don't worry if you're one of those golfers that does this. But I'm going to hit a shot now that would be very typical of a golfer who slices driver, and I'm going to show you why potentially hitting up on the golf ball could be killing your drives. So generally speaking, most guys probably fade their irons a little bit anyway, so they're very aware that their swing path might be a little bit out to in, but they'll move that ball position all the way forward, you know, like we've been told and like we've seen on the videos, to get that club moving up. And what we'll tend to see from here is a high, weak shot drifting out to the right. See there, carry under 200 yards, landing like a butterfly with sore feet, rolling out 211. Now the good news is, if you've tried to hit up, you've got your low point 6.3 inches behind the ball. The club has traveled up 4.8 degrees, just like Rory McIlroy. Unfortunately, your club path has been 10 degrees out to in. Now the challenge is, when we look at the swing direction number there, the swing direction is only -4.6 degrees. So you're only actually swinging 4.5 degrees out to in at the lowest point of the swing. Now this is where you can get in trouble if you're a fader or slicer with the golf ball. Because if your swing direction, which is the direction the driver head or club head is moving at the lowest point of the swing, is already working left, as the club starts moving up to get to the golf ball, it starts moving more to the left. So for anyone who already swings out to in, as soon as you start hitting up more and more, the out to in path gets worse and worse. And very often golfers try and leave the club face to the target to make the ball go there. So if you are one of these golfers, I want you to try and hit down through the ball. Now, I talk a lot about hitting up, hitting down. The key is to control where the lowest point of your golf swing is. So very aware golfers that if the ball's on the floor, we'd like the low point after the golf ball. And if it's after, we're going to hit ball and then ground. Obviously with driver, we're not looking to hit the ground, but if the low point was after the golf swing, we would start to see that the club is actually moving more to the right still by the time it gets to the golf ball until it reaches its low point. So if I can make a very similar swing direction here and move my low point ahead of the ball rather than being 6 inches behind, I should see a much better swing path and therefore a different shape, or not as exaggerated a shape of shot. And I also should get a much more solid contact on the ball and hit the ball further. So I'm going to move the golf ball back in the stance a little bit, probably more to where I would play maybe a mid to long iron. I'm going to go a little bit lower with the tee as well, and I'm going to try and feel like I get my low point ahead of the golf ball. And we can see that one just setting off slightly right, still fading, but staying in the fairway. And when we look at the numbers on TrackMan, we can see my low point was 2.9 inches ahead of the golf ball. So the club has travelled down 2 degrees. My swing direction was still minus 3.5, so it wasn't quite as left. But because my low point's ahead, you can now see that my club path is under a degree out to in. We've seen the carry jump from 197 to 230, and the total jump from 211 to 262. Now, if you're somebody who hits high, weak cuts, comment below and tell me you don't want a bit of that. More ball speed off the face, more control, and not looking for those ones out to the right all day long. So if you are a slicer of the ball, don't worry about letting that low point be ahead. Yes, it's not what we're told about maximizing our distance. And if I delivered that club head speed going up with the same path, that would go further. But if you're somebody who swings out to win, like we said, low point behind is going to accentuate the path and it's going to get you in a lot of trouble. So don't be afraid, let the club travel down, get the low point after. Now on the other end of the scale, we have that golfer who really struggles getting his driver in the air, hits it really low, and you might be that golfer who actually hits little draws, maybe hits a bit hooky ones with their irons. So what we're probably going to see with someone like that is they may currently get their low point ahead of the golf ball. And you'll see very often a shot that just doesn't get in the air at all. And I would say if you're one of those golfers, you're somebody that would love to hit driver, but just feel they need more and more loft in the hands. And I wouldn't disagree with that. You can see that shot there. Low point was 2.2 inches after. Angle of attack was 1 degree down. My swing direction was actually almost 7 degrees from the inside, so to the right. And my club path became really exaggerated at 9 degrees. Very low flight, only carrying 124. And then the total being 192 yards. Now the good news is, at least that's in play, but it's not really going to help us hit long drives. Right, so if you're that golfer, like we saw there, you're delivering the club much more from the inside, but because the club's traveling down through impact, it's traveling too far to the right. So what you want to try and feel is if you can get that low point behind the golf ball, as the club's traveling up, it's then going to work more to the left. Now, it's not going to make you swing out to win, but it is going to make you either swing much straighter or only slightly from the inside when the club's making contact with the golf ball. So you're definitely the golfer that tee the ball high, move the ball forward in the stance and bump that hip forward to get that spine tilting away. We want to really kind of add some loft, keep the ball in the air, and maybe the total won't always change massively, but the carry will be hugely different. So we're going to move the ball forward, not really going to change the direction that I'm swinging the club, just having the ball in a different part of the arc, and this should give us a very, very different shot. And we would take that all day long if you're somebody who struggles with driver. So we can see from the numbers there, I haven't swung quite as much to the right. So my swing direction was only 1.5 degrees to the right. But I got my low point 5.4 inches behind. So the club's traveled up 4.6 degrees. Actually, my path at impact there was actually -2. So it was a little bit out to win by the time I got there. But a carry of 239 and a total of 279 is a huge pickup. So I know I haven't hit a lot of shots there, guys, but you can see, dependent on the shape of shot and ball flight that you tend to get, it can very much depend whether you should be getting the club traveling up or down with driver. Next time you get to the range or the practice ground, you know, go for what you would normally do, see your normal shots, and then make the alterations I've spoken about, and enjoy hitting longer, straighter drives than ever before. Right then, guys, so we could see there that for the golfer who slices the ball, who obviously gets that path far too out to win, struggles with that club face control, the more hitting up we are, the more the club is moving to the left, so the more out to win, and the weaker the flight tends to be, and the more of a glancing blow. So we could see the one I really exaggerated it with was short, it was wide, and it was not pretty at all. Once I managed to move the low point ahead of the golf ball, which is much more like hitting a shot from the floor, we noticed how, because as the club's traveling down, it's moving more to the right, it kind of straightened the path up a little bit. And even though I still hit a fade, it was much longer and it was in play. So it might not be the perfect drive, but I can't always get you from, you know, one or two swings, some short, wide slice to that big high draw. But if you're a slicer of the ball and you can get the low point ahead, guarantee you're going to start hitting a little bit more accurate and longer tee shots. Now, the other hand is that golfer who maybe struggles getting driver in the air, who maybe hits draw with his irons, you know, and feels really, really comfortable with that, but really struggles with driver. If they're somebody who hits down on the golf ball, it's robbing them of loft, definitely getting that path too much from the inside. And we can get that low hook, but you could also get some horrible blocky ones, so both sides in play. Now for that golfer, if you can get the low point behind the golf ball as we showed, as the club's then moving up into the golf ball, it's working more to the left, and that's going to straighten out your path, and that's going to help you get the ball in the air. You might lose a little bit of ball speed, but if it's higher, the ball's going to fly further and it's going to fly a lot straighter. So it's really, really important to understand from the shots you do, how do you deliver the golf club? And once you do that, you can make that change with driver as to change where your low point is, to make the club either travel up or down to help kind of nullify your poor shot. Now, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work perfectly every time, but if you can move that low point a little bit easier and hit the ball straighter, if you are somebody who slices the ball, you know, you'll take in play and a bit longer. It might not be the absolute optimum you can hit it, but you've got to start somewhere, and then if you need to make changes to your swing, you can. But it's really, really important that not every golfer necessarily tries to hit up on the ball with driver. It's deliver the driver in a way that helps you hit your best drives. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you have enjoyed today's content and you don't currently subscribe, please consider clicking the button below, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.